if you support government, you're self-entitled. It doesn't matter what kind of government it is, constitutional republic, democracy, socialist, communist, dictatorship, monarchy, oligarchy, um, Republican, Democrat, even Libertarian. If you support a government, you're self-entitled. You're self-entitled because you feel you have the right to elect people to rule over other people, to use violence against other people. I mean, that's what government is. It's violence, it's force, it's coercion, it's a bunch of people that get special privilege to use force against others. It's not peaceful, it's not justified, it's not right. And you're self-entitled to think you have the right to be able to elect these people to rule over other people. That they get to use violence, that they get to write laws, that they get to enforce laws. Whether such laws are just or not. And you also feel you have a right to people's tax dollars. And it's said over and over again, taxation is theft. You see, the politicians feel they have a right to people's tax dollars, to other people's money, because, you know, it's what pays them. It's what pays the government to run, to exist, is tax dollars. And you feel you have a right to other people's tax dollars because you feel the government gets to take other people's money to spend on stuff you want, that you like. I mean, yeah, roads and hospitals and police and firefighters can be helpful to society, but that's not your money. It doesn't matter what you spend on, that's not your money. You can't spend other people's money. You can spend your own money, sure, I mean it's your own money, you earned it, but other people, no. You can't spend their money, even if it's on stuff that's allegedly helpful to society. You also don't have a right to get laws voted on or have your representatives vote on laws that, you know, repress other people. Like, you know, you can't just vote on like gun control initiatives, you know, pot legalization initiatives, or, you know, not legalizing it. You can't do that. Those are other people's lives that you're controlling with other people, and that's not cool at all. You don't get to decide whether guns are legal or not. You don't get to decide whether pot is legal or not. Your rulers don't get to decide how to do something or not for other people. That's up to them to decide, not you or them. I mean, not you or them as the politicians. But as for people, they can decide their own lives. And, you know, the funny thing is, government is, well, when you elect government, you act like it has the right to do things such as go to war with other countries, or detain people even if they peacefully come into the country, but it's illegal. Well, you see, here's the thing. If I want to let, and I may cover this more in another video, if I want to invite an immigrant over to my house for dinner, or even have them come over to a business of mine, to think of hiring them, or to hire them, or have them work there, that's between me and them. That's not between you and the state. I mean, that's not between me and the state. That's not between me and the citizenry. That's between me and them. You know, the politicians, they don't need to interfere with voluntary interactions, even if they're arbitrarily illegal, you know? I mean, you know, this whole law of the land thing really doesn't work. I mean, politicians draw an imaginary border over some land area, call it a country, and act like they have a right to rule over it when they don't. It's your property, you get to invite who you want onto it. And if that person happens to be an immigrant that is undocumented, I say, so what? We don't need this whole ICE, customs, border patrol type crap. So, you know, property is yours. You know, it's kind of ironic to have a state and private property if they contradict each other. Like, this state has the right to rule over this land, and this land has some private property on it which can be bought, but the state has the right to rule over it, and the state is what gets to control that lot of property that's being sold to people. It doesn't make any sense. It's contradictory. You either own the land in totality or you don't. So, it's very self-entitled of people to feel that they can get these people, these Congress people, these men and women in suits to rule over them as a whole. And you see, here's the thing. Elections are collective. It doesn't matter if you voted for someone else. It doesn't matter if you didn't vote at all. You know, whoever the fuck the winner is, they get to rule over collectively everyone. You know, like if 2016 election, you know, 3 years ago. If you didn't vote for Trump, if you voted for Hillary, too bad, you gotta deal with Trump. He won, he rules. If you didn't vote at all, too bad, he won, he rules. Same thing goes if Hillary won, you know, if you didn't vote for her, didn't vote at all. Too bad, she won, she rules. And even Gary Johnson, I mean, same thing. If you know, even if you didn't vote for him or didn't vote at all, too bad, he won, he rules. So I don't think consent of the governed is a really legit term. I mean, it's like if not everyone consented to this rule, or if some people voted against them, or some people didn't vote at all, then how the hell is it consent? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Consent of the governed. Well, not everyone voted the same. And, it doesn't... Consent of the governed's a bit of an oxymoron right out of the box, too. As Larkin Rose put it, if it's consensual, it's not governed. If it's governed, it's not consensual. Remember, government is force. Consent is not. It's voluntary. These two or more people are okay with this shit. There's no force that needs to go on. Versus, you know, we gotta have oversight of this. This is government. This isn't consensual. So, it's funny that people complain about self-entitled people. Like, they go on about how welfare recipients are lazy bitches that don't want to work. Or that millennials are just want everything for free, gimme, gimme, gimme. Yet, they themselves are self-entitled. They support the state. The state is as self-entitled as you can get. And support of the state is self-entitled as you can get. I mean, you're demanding people's tax dollars for crying out loud. You're demanding other people's money at gunpoint. That's as self-entitled as it gets. I can't think of anything more self-entitled. Yeah, be a whiny millennial. I don't really like that term, but just for sake of easy point, say you're a whiny millennial, you just want stuff for free, gimme. Yeah, that's self-entitled, but it isn't really harmful. I mean, people would just let you want to, you're blue in the face, they ain't gonna give you their stuff for free. And there's been a welfare recipient, okay, people are forced to give you stuff due to the government. But then there's really self-entitlement where you support the government, you support them taking other people's shit, other people's stuff, other people's cash. It's like, oh, we need this. Let's spend other people's money in order to pay for it. We need it. They have the money for it. Let's spend it. And they can't say no. It's a society. We're a collective. We're all in this together. So you have to pay some of your money to pay for stuff such as EMS and roads. You're obligated to. And it's silly to say that because all this stuff can be funded voluntarily by the free market. They have private fire departments, they have private police, they have private hospitals. This can be funded privately. You don't need to force people to pay for stuff for other people or for the collective. You don't. And, it's, I don't know, sometimes you just don't want to pay for other people's stuff. So, why make them do it for even EMS my roads? So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, ultimately, to not be self-entitled, you have to let people be able to keep their own stuff. You can't demand it, you can't rob it, you can't force it. If people want to keep their own stuff and not give any of it to you, that's their prerogative. So, not being self-entitled means earning your own stuff, not forcing it off others, only taking stuff when it's voluntary, voluntary exchanges, gift giving, traded labor, free trade, that kind of shit. That's only when you get to transfer stuff over. You can't have any of this redistribution shit where the government takes some stuff from people and gives it to other people. You can't have that. I mean, that's stupid. So, yeah, I mean, to consistently not be self-entitled, you can't want government either. You gotta let the market run things rather than assholes in suits. So, yeah.